or all left, I should say. We turn left in this racing series. Cody Higbee fires off. Pace truck wasn't quite off the track, but they miss it and the green flag's out. Early jump for him. It caught the rest of them waiting, and he's got himself about a quarter car length over Brandon Plank down the back straightaway. Liam Daniels has a little bit of trouble at the tail end of the grid. We stay green. Plank tries to send it to the low side. White flag coming out this time. Big battles going on for third place behind him. The race lead is a side-by-side battle. Porter trying to get around Josh Mbowski for third. Plank goes way low. Catfishing to the bottom is the 77X. Will it work? He goes to the inside of Higbee. Is he going to get that slider in? He is. Crossover attempt from Higbee. Blocked by Plank. They're wrecking behind him. Brandon Plank's going to win. That was 110 IQ from Brandon Plank to stay low.
Welcome to the virtual Fairbury Speedway, home of tonight's 100-lap racing action for the BRP iRacing series. This track has two distinct lines, the extreme high side up on the wall, the very low side, with the middle line being strong in the middle of the night. Drivers will be using this top side to keep their momentum up, but it's a tricky line to get right coming off the corners. As we head into turn 1, see just how tight these corners are as we get the car slowed down. Coming into 3, there's a huge bump that will upset your car if you hit it wrong, and a small hill coming off of 4 that can really hurt your exit and run down the front stretch. As the top side gets crowded or slicks off, you'll see a lot of guys rush to this inside to make a run to the end. Watch out for guys like Gavin Isley and Ryan Beagle to be down here all night long if they need to get through traffic. Hope you guys enjoy the race. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to stay up to date. Follow me to BRPtv.
or all left, I should say. We turn left in this racing series. Cody Higbee fires off. Pace truck wasn't quite off the track, but they miss it and the green flag's out. Early jump for him. It caught the rest of them waiting, and he's got himself about a quarter car length over Brandon Plank down the back straightaway. Liam Daniels has a little bit of trouble at the tail end of the grid. We stay green. Plank tries to send it to the low side. White flag coming out this time. Big battles going on for third place behind him. The race lead is a side-by-side battle. Porter trying to get around Josh Mbowski for third. Plank goes way low. Catfishing to the bottom is the 77X. Will it work? He goes to the inside of Higbee. Is he going to get that slider in? He is. Crossover attempt from Higbee. Blocked by Plank. They're wrecking behind him. Brandon Plank's going to win. That was 110 IQ from Brandon Plank to stay low.
Welcome to the virtual Fairbury Speedway, home of tonight's 100-lap racing action for the BRP iRacing series. This track has two distinct lines, the extreme high side up on the wall, the very low side, with the middle line being strong in the middle of the night. Drivers will be using this top side to keep their momentum up, but it's a tricky line to get right coming off the corners. As we head into turn 1, see just how tight these corners are as we get the car slowed down. Coming into 3, there's a huge bump that will upset your car if you hit it wrong, and a small hill coming off of 4 that can really hurt your exit and run down the front stretch. As the top side gets crowded or slicks off, you'll see a lot of guys rush to this inside to make a run to the end. Watch out for guys like Gavin Isley and Ryan Beagle to be down here all night long. They need to get through traffic. Hope you guys enjoy the race. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to stay up to date. All things BRPtv.
or all left, I should say. We turn left in this racing series. Cody Higbee fires off. Pace truck wasn't quite off the track, but they miss it and the green flag's out. Early jump for him. It caught the rest of them waiting, and he's got himself about a quarter car length over Brandon Plank down the back straightaway. Liam Daniels has a little bit of trouble at the tail end of the grid. We stay green. Plank tries to send it to the low side. White flag coming out this time. Big battles going on for third place behind him. The race lead is a side-by-side battle. Porter trying to get around Josh Mbowski for third. Plank goes way low. Catfishing to the bottom is the 77X. Will it work? He goes to the inside of Higbee. Is he going to get that slider in? He is. Crossover attempt from Higbee. Blocked by Plank. They're wrecking behind him. Brandon Plank's going to win. That was 110 IQ from Brandon Plank to stay low.
Welcome to the virtual Fairbury Speedway, home of tonight's 100-lap racing action for the BRP iRacing series. This track has two distinct lines, the extreme high side up on the wall, the very low side, with the middle line being strong in the middle of the night. Drivers will be using this top side to keep their momentum up, but it's a tricky line to get right coming off the corners. As we head into turn 1, see just how tight these corners are as we get the car slowed down. Coming into 3, there's a huge bump that will upset your car if you hit it wrong, and a small hill coming off of 4 that can really hurt your exit and run down the front stretch. As the top side gets crowded or slicks off, you'll see a lot of guys rush to this inside to make a run to the end. Watch out for guys like Gavin Isley and Ryan Beagle to be down here all night long. They need to get through traffic. Hope you guys enjoy the race. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to stay up to date. Follow me on BRPtv.
back for another week of the BRP TV iRacing series. It's been a grind for these drivers since November. We've seen everything from fast half miles to short bull rings, from technical D shapes to paper clips. But after 16 events, this series is far from over. We still have a tight championship battle on our hands, coming into tonight with 2 points, making the difference. We saw the snooker of the century last week to secure a win. Now we re-rack and restack as the BRP iRacing series takes on another short quarter mile. We are super excited to bring you the Fury at Fairbury tonight, live on BRPtv. 100 laps on the schedule for our feature tonight, following the regular program of qualifying and heat races. I'm Jonathan Howe on the mic, connected to you with Chris stepping up to produce. What an awesome fill-in for my pal Joe Donahue, who's enjoying some time down in the Lone Star State. I haven't been a bit vacation. Good for him. I kind of got a vacation myself last week after a power outage swept through my neighborhood, and I wasn't even able to catch the end of the race myself until, a couple of days later. Last week, Brandon Plank protected the crossover and won what may be the most impressive of his 7 wins. Crazy to say that. But tonight is completely different. Fairbury is one of the shortest dirt ovals in iRacing, and with only 1 lane of bank track for our drivers, they'll need to make it their friend tonight. Big shout out to GT Rain as well. If you're ever looking for world-class content to keep up with the know-how of sports car racing across the globe, be sure to check out the GT Rain YouTube channel. Every so often, a high-quality video on the tech, history, and happenings of worldwide motorsport come to brighten your day. So be sure to click the link and check that out. Appreciate them coming on board. Let's have a look at the BRP TV points standings. I mean, this is one heck of a battle. Ryan Beagle, narrowest of margins over Cody Higbee. Jamie Porter, not out of it yet. Still not sure if he's going to make every single race the rest of the year or not. I have to talk to Jamie about that again. Gavin Isley is also right there within striking distance. Travis Miller, Brandon Plank, Ryan Susi, 3 guys who are inside the top 10 in points right now, but are ineligible for the championship because they are not going to be able to get the mandatory 8 small block starts in. That opens the door for guys like Matt DeRitter, Dean Reynolds to step up and get past Ryan Susi, past Brandon Plank, past Travis Miller, Jeff Sharp, Alan Slate, and Tyler Joshambowski, all right there knocking on the door, looking to move up. Even my pal Travis Cunningham, who co-hosts the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast with me, is looking forward to that. It's going to be a blast to watch this points battle come down to the very end as practice continues to roll on here. I think, honestly, the biggest thing that I'm watching for is I'm going to have a lot of time to fill here and a lot of time to talk and analyze this race is just how much this track's going to change. You can already see the black stripe coming in. The rubber is going down on this racetrack, and we still have that warm-up session, of course, that leads into feature racing. That makes things fairly worked in. I think this track is going to be all kinds of tough for these drivers tonight. I really don't know what to expect from Fairbury. I'm trying to think back to our first visit to Fairbury, and the tighter the track, it seems like it should be more chaotic, but sometimes the racing ends up being a little bit more predictable of all the places. So we got our eyes on Dean Reynolds here right now. Another one of those guys who's, well, as he wrecks into Tyler that's Tyler Pacholski. Tyler Joshambowski, Dean Reynolds, guys looking to move up the point standings. Travis Miller so far has set the fastest time in practice as we are coming towards the end of practice now. Dean Reynolds ended up second fastest. Joshambowski laying down a quick time. Cody Higbee, another championship favorite, up there in this one. Somebody we're not seeing up on the top 10 so far is Ryan Beagle. He's just outside the top 10 with his current pace in 11th. We'll see how Beagle can do. Cody Higbee's got a big opportunity tonight to pounce, collect some points, and it all starts with our qualifying session. Put yourself up towards the front half of some of the heat races that we were going to have later on, and maybe you can score a couple extra bonus points, right? That's the strategy. That's what the goal has to be for all of these guys as we get ready for the Fury at Fairbury. Coming out on track first, Ryan Susi in the 38 machine. Ryan Susi Sent me a little message over the weekend. Was tuned in to 97.7 Hits FM and listened to the radio show. Always appreciate that. Was working on his Merrittville Speedway race car as he's getting ready. We're just about a month away from the Spring Sizzler, which kicks off the racing year in Southern Ontario. And then the following weekend at Merrittville Speedway will be the first points night of the year. And Ryan Susi is the co-champion from last year's 358 modified division at Merrittville Speedway. So whether it be on iRacing or in real life, the guy knows how to get it done as we go on board with that 38 machine, slinging it around Fairbury. And he's been bad fast so far, but there's Tyler Pacholski jumping up to the top of the board. Susi, DePetro, now Dean Reynolds also jumps to the front half of this field. As we see about 11 cars, now 12 cars have taken a time so far. Pacholski's still the fastest. Dean Reynolds up there. Cody Higbee jumps up to P2 on the board. We'll see if he can improve on that after his first lap. There's Tyler Joshimbowski, who's going to put it in the wall. Not the worst thing to happen because he is in 7th on speed right now. Now moving down the board as Travis Miller goes P1 in the 22. The thriller, Travis Miller, up to the top of the board. Travis really wants to get in victory lane. I think tonight might be, I don't want to say his night, but so far he has been bad fast, and it would not surprise me to see that 22 on the podium again as he continues to just hunt for checker flags, not worrying about the points, as we now see all 16 drivers in the field tonight have made their way around the racetrack, taking their qualifying time. Still a minute left on the board for qualifying here. Going to be interesting to see if Ryan Beagle can move up through this field. 7th fastest in qualifying, so he picks up a little bit compared to his practice times, but advantage Cody Higbee. Higbee, 2 points is the gap between those two competitors at the top of the standings. Travis Cunningham times in at 15th, Dean Meitzer in 14th. We're on board with Pat Reiser, who's taken his laps out on the racetrack now to try to post the quick time. Currently P12, and that's where he's going to end it off, P12 in this session. Dylan Davidson in the session, not sure if he's going to have enough time to get out for qualifying or if he's going to make a heat or not. We'll find out here once we get set for the start of heat racing for the Fury at Fairbury. This is one of those tracks that I don't have iRacing myself personally. I've got the iRacing console game, the World of Outlaws game, and Fairbury, of course, one of my favorites to race on in the game. Travis Miller is going to go on pole for this first event. First heat race of the night, Travis Miller. Cody Higbee, it's Ryan Susi, Ryan Beagle, Tyler Joshimbowski lining up 5th, Jamie Porter 6th, Matt DeRitta will start 7th, a little bit further back than we thought we'd see that 0-3. Travis Cunningham's going to line up 8th, and Dylan Davidson, if he can make the call, will go roll from 9th tonight in the first heat here at Fairbury to set this field. Travis Miller, again, not running for points, so even if he wins this heat, you know, the points that he's going to collect, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But look at those two championship rivals right now, Cody Higbee and Ryan Beagle, lining up on the outside rows, nose to back, I guess you could say. The 84 RK of Ryan Beagle currently leads that 97 machine by 2 points, and don't forget, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. That is the payout for the top 4 drivers if you finish in the top 4 in a heat. So theoretically, Cody Higbee could advance to the lead of this championship with only a couple of races to go just based on this heat. Big love to all of our sponsors as well who make this whole series possible. It's been a blast so far this year to present this programming, and we couldn't do it without MDR Designs. Matt DeRitter, if you are in need of competitive price graphic design work for company logos, iRacing cars, or any other branding, we've got the solution for you. MDR Designs is the place to go if you want to represent your brand at the highest level. Graphics here at BRPtv, along with the paints for countless drivers in this series, come straight from the MDR stables. Contact Matt DeRitter or go to their Facebook page to request a quote or appointment today. Also got to thank JM Performance, if you know, you know. Creative Turnings, based out of Waterford, Connecticut. Creative Turnings offers wood and acrylic household items such as pens, bowls, candlesticks, charcuterie boards, much more. Custom homemade products, great for gift giving and home decor. Head over to their Facebook site and learn more about it. And of course, gotta give a shout out to the ground pounding, earth rattling beasts of the Northeast, the Super Dirt Car Series. We appreciate them being on board, advertising with us as we eagerly await them getting underway at Atomic coming up on the schedule. Going to be a blast. We're eagerly awaiting the beginning of this one as well, as the field begins to pace behind the pace truck. Pace truck is in, getting ready to go green here.
Green flag.
Travis Miller brings him in for a slow start, pedals to the floor and around the outside. Higbee trying to make a move to the lead, couldn't do it. Door slammed in his face by Miller, who leads into 3 and 4, tags the wall just a little bit. I think we're going to see a lot of wall tagging, especially out of 3 and 4 throughout the evening here. Still, Miller carrying the pace at the front of this field. Then it's Higbee. Ryan Susi doing a good job holding off Ryan Beagle. Battle there between Josh Rimbeski and Porter, as Porter's trying to go and complete the slider. Does, but doesn't do it so cleanly, and that opens the door. Here comes Matt DeRitter in the 0-3 car. He tries a slider on Porter. Meanwhile, Beagle still stuck behind Susi. The Ryan and Ryan show sit 3rd and 4th, with everybody chasing Travis Miller just a couple laps into this one so far. Should also point out that Ryan Beagle, if we maybe didn't exceed the speed that we expected in practice and qualifying so far, that kind of makes sense because he is one of the drivers running a small block tonight. He's in the 358 motor alongside Ryan Susi, who's also in a 358. And then we've also got Corby Daniels, Dean Meitzler in 358s as well. So this is of all the tracks, if you're 1 race or 2 races away, well, if you're 2 races away, your time is running out. You got to get it in here. But if you're just 1 more race away from knocking off all the small block starts you need, this is a good place to do it, and I think most of the field has chosen to do that here tonight. But everybody chasing the man in the big block, Travis Miller, as he is going to run away with it. Leads all laps and gets it done over Cody Higbee. Ryan Beagle ends up in 3rd. Good rally from him to get up there and not lose too many points compared to Cody Higbee. Travis Miller, though, that 22 machine, going to be strong tonight and probably going to be rolling from the front row, if not the pole position, when we see it, when we line this field up a little bit later on tonight. Getting ready to go in heat number 2. Here's your unofficial results from heat number 1. I believe this might actually be our starting lineup. We'll wait for that graphic to come back by, and we'll take you through the starting lineup for heat number 2 in a moment. Waiting for drivers to still load up. Tyler Pachelski's going to lead this one to green alongside Dean Reynolds in the 79, representing the Super Dirt Car Series. Then it's Jeff Sharp, who's going to line up 3rd. Dave DiPetro will line up 4th in the 68 machine. Gavin Isley rolls from 5th on the grid in the 18. Pat Reiser in the 33 will line up 6th. Then it's Dean Meitzler, one of those small block drivers tonight. He lines up 7th alongside another small block guy, Corby Daniels, the Beef, in the 88 machine. Looking through the field of who's in a big block, who's in a small block, it's almost easier to point out who the big blocks are tonight. That's Pat Reiser. Big blocks also for Tyler Pachelski, for Travis Miller, Dave DiPetro, and Dean Reynolds. So we've seen Dean be pretty fast throughout the year. Looked pretty fast tonight, and that's no surprise. Being in a big block, we'll see what he can do. Starting from the outside in this one, Pachelski brings him in for another slow start, has a little bit of a nose ahead, and now the flag is up. Pedals are down into turn number 1. Around the outside goes Dean Reynolds. Predictably, he's got the power down in that 79 machine. He's trying to take the lead, but Pachelski pulls the slider on him. Oh, rough ride for Dean Reynolds there as he gets bounced by our leader, Pachelski, throwing the block on him out of 4. That opens the door for the 21 to kind of be in control of this one. We'll see Dean Reynolds drop off the racetrack as we try to stay green here. He'll just take his lumps and start from the back of the field. Something to watch for, big block at the back of the field. Right now, Pachelski's still in control. Then it's DiPetro. Reiser sits in third. He's coming under fire now. Good racing from about third on back as our top two have really broken away. That contact between Pachalski and Reynolds really jammed up the field coming out of 4. That stacked everybody up behind him, and it created a lot of space towards the front half of the field, and that's why you're seeing Pachalski really in control of this one over DiPetro and Reiser. Again, Reiser, one of those big block drivers tonight. Pachalski as well, so no surprise to see them up towards the front half of the field. And Dave DiPetro. So all big blocks at the front half of this field so far with 2 laps to go. Racing now into 3 and 4, approaching the white flag. Tyler Pachalski in control of this one after the contact with Dean Reynolds. Around out of 3 and 4 for the final time. By about a half straightaway, it's Tyler Pachalski taking heat number 2 over Dave DiPetro and Pat Reiser. So going to be interesting to watch. Those big blocks dominated that heat. As we get ready for feature time, we're going to, of course, have our warm-up session, which gives us the opportunity to thank a couple more of the sponsors and everybody else who makes this whole show happen. It really wouldn't happen without the help of, businesses, without the help of folks like Dig Race Products. Since 2016, Dig Race Products has had a sole focus on Northeast dirt modified shocks and suspension tuning. Located in central New York, Dig is the industry leader for trackside shock and setup support. This hands-on at-the-track approach is what leads the design and development in delivering the highest quality shock absorbers to the dirt oval track market. You can visit them www.digraceproducts.com for more information to shop online anytime. Also, got to thank ourselves for this one. BRPtv bringing you live coverage of the BRP iRacing series. We are proud to provide coverage for all the partners, drivers, and fans of this Edge of Seat racing series. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to enable notifications when we go live, and keep up with us on Facebook. And if you want to run your own iRacing League broadcast setup similar to this, contact us. Maybe, just maybe, we can put on your racing, and it doesn't have to be exclusively dirt track stuff. I wouldn't mind calling some Gen 4 Cup car racing, maybe some ARCA stuff, sports cars, whatever it might be. I'm happy to lend my vocal talents, and I know my broadcast partner, Joe Donahue, is down to do it as well. And Joe, hope you're enjoying the Lone Star State, buddy. Miss you here tonight because I think we're in for a good one, especially, look at these two. They can't get away from each other. Even in warm-up, Cody Higbee and Ryan Beagle, top 2 in the championship. They are running right there together in this warm-up session as well, as we see cars flipping all over the place. I don't necessarily think that this is going to be a crash-filled race, but I definitely think the cozy confines, we'll call it, of Fairbury are going to provide a lot of drama throughout the 100 laps that we are going to undertake tonight. And I can't wait to talk about it with my podcast co-host, Travis Cunningham, who drives the 90 machine in this here racing series, runs the Southern Ontario Dirt Show car. You can see it now on the screen. There it is. Beautiful looking race car. Tried to convince him to make a sprint car look like that in real life, but I guess that costs money. And the podcast, well, we're doing okay. I'm not making that much money yet. Maybe that's a year 3 plan. But if you're not following along, you can catch us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify. It is an audio-only podcast. Catch us wherever you download your stuff. Or we even have our own website, and you can find that through the social channels at SODS_pod on Twitter, Instagram, and our new TikTok, which is going to be loaded up soon with good content. And, of course, our Facebook page, which is where we're going to put the live show we did. I've got the file now, the live show for Motorama, which we did last weekend. We are ready to put that out into the world. Great lineup of guests that we had in a quick hour at Motorama. Just a blast it was to get out to Motorama and see that. And it was great to catch up with organizer of the show, Greg McPherson, on this past podcast that we just put out, as well as Mike Bowman told us about his plans to go 360 sprint car racing, so check that out wherever you get your podcast, the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast with myself and Travis Cunningham. Also, as the warm-up session is starting to wind down, don't want to forget about our friends at 47 Technology as well, providing custom decor solutions. 47 Technology is designing and 3D printing for retail and personal collectibles of your wildest creations. Previous projects include trophies, Christmas ornaments, fidget devices, and home decor. Visit their Etsy shop to see what's available and to reach out for custom printing requests. Once again, I am Jonathan Howe. We are the BRP iRacing series, and we are getting ready to go from Fairbury American Legion Speedway. 100 laps tonight around this very tight bull ring of a racetrack. Ryan Susi looking pretty fast. Not surprising to see him up towards the front half of the field and the front half of the charts. Dylan Davidson, one of our late joiners tonight. Dylan is going to be running a big block as well. You can see him posted the 8th fastest time in the 73. He's one of the drivers who had their actual race car on display at the Penn Center shopping outlet here in Southern Ontario, in St. Catharines in particular. Had that race car on display. It's a beautiful looking ride. Can't wait to see it as we get, again, approaching racing season. I know it's weird to say because there's racing pretty much happening throughout, especially the southern United States. But here in Southern Ontario, where I am, we're about a month away from it still. And we're only a few moments away from the start of the Fury at Fairbury. And this is how they're going to line up. Travis Miller going from pole in the 22 machine. He'll line up alongside Tyler Pacholski, winner of heat number 2. Cody Higbee, one of our championship contenders, lines up third alongside Dirty Dave DePetro in the 68 machine. Then it's the big dog, Ryan Beagle. The 84 will line up 5th alongside Pat Reiser in the 33. Jamie Porter's in the 45 tonight. He starts 7th alongside Gavin Isley in the 18 machine. Then it's Tyler Joshimbowski rolling off 9th in the 088 alongside Jeff Sharp, who starts 10th in the 28. Taking a look at the last half of the grid here. Matt DeRitter is going to line up 11th in the 03. Teen Meitzler will line up to his outside in the 49 machine. Ryan Susi, after that trouble in his heat, is going to end up in 13th starting spot alongside Dean Reynolds, who also had trouble. Travis Cunningham ends up 15th. Corby Daniels will start 16th. And Dylan Davidson in the big block will start shotgun on the field. Couple of big blocks at the back, a couple of big blocks at the front, including our front row of Tyler Pacholski and Travis Miller. Pace truck is in. Flag is up, pedals are down, away we go. A little bit of gamesmanship there, and that's going to lead to some jam-ups and jingles on the first corner. I'm not sure if we're going to get a yellow out of it or not, as I saw a couple cars sideways, and as we see the field start to woe up here, we will see the first yellow, maybe even a non-start to this race. I'm not sure what they're going to call from the tower. Looks like they're just going to call a standard caution. We'll wait to see if we can get a replay of what exactly happened. But I did see 1 or 2 cars spin on the entry to corner 1, and that all started with Tyler Pacholski. I don't know if he was trying to get the jump on Miller, or maybe he thought Miller was going to go and just didn't. Then he had to slam on the brakes, and that jammed up the outside line, and I think that's really where that issue started. Let's see if we can get a replay here of what exactly happened. So you can see Pacholski's dropped from the front row here. I'm not sure if this is his doing or not, if he's going to get a penalty out of it. I don't think he should. I don't think that's the call. No, he's going to drop back to the outside, off the outside of the front row, though. So Pacholski's going to restart third here. Miller back to green flag. Much cleaner start this time as the field goes into turn 1. And wow, Higbee looked really good on entry around the outside, and then his momentum just died down the back straightaway. He's going to try to wind it up again around the outside. Still can't get by Miller, but is at least getting alongside of him. And now out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, Cody Higbee doing a great job working over Travis Miller. in the 22 machine. Looking downstairs is Tyler Pachalski. Pachalski trying to have himself a good run here tonight. Plenty capable of doing that as well, especially with great track position to start this one. Higbee looking for the lead at a 4, and he'll nose ahead at the stripe. 7 laps in, and he is rim riding it around Fairbury. The 97 machine of Cody Higbee in control. Miller doing a great job fighting with the middle line. Again, this is mostly a one-lane racetrack, as now you see Miller's going to have to settle back in. But doesn't mean these drivers won't try exploring, especially after 100 laps around this place. So we are going to wear this track in, wear the surface in. We'll see who can find grip where throughout this one. Ryan Beagle trying to keep pace with Cody Higbee. He's stuck behind a double wide of 21 and 22 machines. Pachalski downstairs, Miller around the outside, hanging it out sideways. Pachalski's actually making some ground on Miller around the bottom side. He looks like his car is actually a little bit better, and his driving style is a little bit better than Miller was finding it when he was down there. And not surprising as we go on board with the 18 of Gavin Isley. Not a surprise to see the catfish, as my pal Joe Donahue likes to call him, down towards the bottom of this racetrack and picking up positions. The 18 trying to move to the front, as now we see the 21 has cleared the 22 machine. Good battle behind them. Beagle, the big dog, trying to find a way around Miller. He's still stuck behind that 22 machine, not able to advance forward as his championship rival leads this race. Cody Higbee in the 97 machine out front. Coming down the back straightaway. You can see Miller's picked up maybe a bit of a different line. He kind of arcs it and then uses the hill, the banking to kind of fire down the racetrack, especially through 1 and 2. A little further back in the pack, getting some good action from our pal Matt DeRitter in the MDR Design 03 machine, trying to take that race car towards the front after he was in the back half of this field. Advancing a little bit further back even. Watching Ryan Susi battle there 3 wide with his Maryville Speedway fellow competitor, Dylan Davidson, in the 73 machine. Good racing. Dirk Cardine, who was fast early in the night before being involved with a little incident in his heat. See how far forward he can advance. I thought the big blocks would be a drastic advantage, but so far it's actually been fairly even. I think the fact that there's so many small blocks in the field tonight, that really helps them, as there is in total only 5 big blocks running, 6 big blocks with the addition of Dylan Davidson, and we've got another yellow out on the racetrack. As you can see, the field coming to a slower pace here. Not what Cody Higbee wanted to see. See what... Not exactly sure what the caution was for here this time. But not what Cody Higbee wanted to see, as he really had control of this race, and now he's going to have a very hungry and very aggressive Tyler Pachalski, who's going to line up around the outside of him, depending on lane choice, I suppose. Somebody who is pretty happy about this, though, is Ryan Beagle, who's going to start from the outside lane right on the tail of, again, championship contender Cody Higbee. Point leader right now is Beagle. He'll line up 4th. The way this is working, Higbee, Pachalski, Miller, Beagle, back underway. Around the outside goes Cody Higbee. He is going to take back the lead. Pachalski couldn't quite hang with them through 1 and 2. Now he's going to have to play a little bit of defense as they're fanning out 3 wide. Gavin Isley trying to make something happen there. A couple cars getting a little bit slowed down in the back half of the field here. 1 car wobbling around. I believe that's Pat Reiser who's bouncing off cars as we got a battle for the lead once again. Higbee now under fire from Pachalski. Pachalski seems like maybe after a couple laps he can get that middle to low lane start to come in a bit more, and he noses ahead down the back straightaway. But is he going to have enough to clear the 97 as long as Cody Higbee continues to run that outside? Through 1 and 2, you can see Pachalski really gets out ahead. He has that entry of that corner figured out. Through 3 and 4, it's a little bit more even. This time, though, Higbee's going to wind it up around the outside, not quite clear the 21, but he's getting closer to clearing him. Again, Pachalski, great entry into 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, Higbee draws the advantage. Around the outside, a little bit of a touch of the outside wall. Again, we're going to see almost like a Fairbury stripe, if we can call it that, develop as these guys continue to just lean just a little bit on the boards as they roll around, especially out of 3 and 4. Good racing deeper in the field here as we flash back to watch our pal Ryan Susie trying to move forward in this one. Jeff Sharp there doing a great job tracking down Matt DeRitter. And Jamie Porter not going the right way right now. He was up there in the fight early in this one, but he is not quite up to pace with the front 4 or 5 race cars and falling back as Matt DeRitter looks like he's going to be able to get around Porter. Now Jeff Sharp is also working around Porter. I believe Porter, who is in a 358 tonight, he has not had a lot of confidence with the small block in talking to him. He's definitely much more confident and comfortable in a big block. As we see Tyler Pachelski has gotten by Cody Higbee and gone forward in this race. Higbee still running that outside line, but he's dropping back as now Gavin Isley has also gotten by Cody Higbee. A bit of a battle there as Higbee tries to take second back. Definitely those bottom lane is working a lot more than I anticipated tonight, which is great to see because we're getting some great racing action because of it. Pachelski was able to use that lower line to get by Higbee. Now Isley is through to second using that low line, and Higbee still committed to the outside, but I feel like if he wants to hang tough and maybe end up on the podium, he might have to move off that high side because it sure looks like the low lane is the place to be as we're 33 laps now, 34 laps into this one. Pachelski out front, Gavin Isley, Cody Higbee. Front 3 all single file, good racing behind them as we're on board with the Catfish. Here's Gavin Isley making a trip around Fairbury, this tricky racetrack. Very tight, very technical. Not a lot of room, but they're making it work here tonight. Good show so far as we're 35 laps into it. About a third of the way through this 100-lap feature event from Fairbury. Now you see Higbee has moved down alongside Ryan Beagle. So everybody migrating off the top side of this racetrack. How long does the bottom side go before it gets burned up? Josh Szymborski still using the high side as we flash a little further back in the pack. Dean Reynolds, the driver expected to maybe move forward, but with passing being at a premium here, and obviously the top side has gone away now, everybody fighting to get to the bottom. It's going to be hard for these guys to move forward if they have speed in their race cars. Good racing there is almost 3 wide coming out on the front stretch. Porter on the inside of Susie, who has Davidson on the inside as well. Great little 3-car battle. This happening just at the back half of the top 10 as Susie is running 8th, Porter in 9th. Now Davidson under fire from Reynolds, who's going to take away the 10th spot here. A little bit of a jingle there between Susie and Porter. Josh Szymborski around the outside also trying to make headway in that 088 machine, and I believe that's Travis Miller right there, or excuse me, Travis Cunningham trying to find his way up, and Pat Reiser as well. Good racing from about 8th on back that we are watching on screen right now as Tyler Pachelski continues to pace the field. Tyler Pachelski not had the best luck in the series this year, has found himself in incidents of his own doing, and a lot of times in incidents that he couldn't really control, as we see I think that was Dean Reynolds that clipped the inside barrier and almost flipped it. He drops back off the tail of the 73 of Davidson in the Costco haulage machine. Porter around the outside. It looks like some drivers trying to migrate back to the top side and find a little bit of something to get them back towards the front half of the field, as everybody seems to be working the lower lines here around Fairbury. Not quite to halfway, but pushing it now. Gavin Isley is also pushing Tyler Pachelski's pace, not letting the 21 completely get away. And it sure seems like turn 1 is where a lot of speed can be made up, especially on entry. We saw Pachelski run fast on the low side through turn 1. And now it seems like Gavin Isley has kind of figured out the entry to turn 1 that doesn't have 3 and 4 figured out. And that's where Pachelski is able to maintain his advantage in that 21 machine. It's Pachelski, Isley. Now Travis Miller back into 3rd. Cody Higbee has fallen to 4th position as we see the Beef. Corby Daniels might be the first car to go 1 lap down. Bit of a hornet's nest brewing here from 3rd on back. And I believe we're going to see the yellow flag come out here. And I might be for my pal Travis Cunningham, but I'm not going to... I hope that's not the case. We'll see if we can track down a replay here. Oh, it's for Dylan Davidson. I think Davidson is going to be the one Dylan Davidson went over in turn 4, and that brings out a yellow. See if he gets a little bit of help here, or if this is something on his own doing. Looks like Reynolds sends it in there. Down the back straightaway, we see the Davidson 73. Porter's right there. And yeah, he actually thought he was going to be clear and could drive straight up off the corner. And Ryan Susi was in fact there. And when those two came together, it was Davidson going over. But tough break for the 73 machine. Running a big block here tonight. Wanted to have a good night. Still early though. And with only 17, 18 cars in the field, I believe it's 17. Maybe Dave DiPetro's dropped off. No reason you can't move forward in this final 50 laps. Half in, half to go. Well, just under half to go now. Isley all over the backside of Tyler Pacholski. Tyler Pacholski trying to keep pace at the front of the field in the 21 machine. Isley now working the high side a little bit. Higby's gone back upstairs. He's trying to move forward and run away from his championship rival, Ryan Beagle. Matt DeRitter sneaking his way up there in the 03 machine. Another driver I talked to didn't seem to have a lot of confidence in himself and his race car tonight at Fairbury, but he is putting on a great showing. That 03 machine, makes a little bit of contact there with championship leader Ryan Beagle. Front 3 cars are single file, and it's a hornet's nest from about 4th on back. As here comes a pass for the lead. Can't make it stick. Isley working to the inside of Pacholski. Higby sends it in there, trying to find an advantage in the middle groove. Everybody taking swipes at Pacholski, but is anybody going to be able to complete the pass? Into 3 and 4, we go on board with Gavin Isley. Isley downstairs. Up on the high side, it's Pacholski. Still in control of this race, but for how long? Isley's got that inside advantage. We know Gavin Isley is good on the inside. He's going to clear up off of 3 and 4. Here comes the crossover maneuver. Tyler Pacholski trying to go back to the lead. Low side of turn 1, he'll clear. Leaves the top side open and keeps his rival in this race, Gavin Isley, upstairs. Cody Higby loving what he's seeing. He says, keep battling, boys. It's going to be a 3-car battle if you keep this up. Around the outside, Gavin Isley trying to put the power down, but can't quite get up past this 21 machine. Fairbury putting on a great show for us here. Lanes coming and going, drivers coming and going, and now we've got yet another great battle at the front of this field. Cody Higby lurking there in 3rd. Matt DeRitter is now up to 4th. Battle still continuing for this lead. Let's take a look at it from the advantage point of Cody Higby. Higby around the outside. Great onboard shots here again. Appreciate MDR Designs for contributing these ones to BRP TV. Isley looks like he's going to draw ahead, and every time he does, it just gets a little bit bogged down in the corner, and that bottom lane prevails. This time, Pacholski going to clear up in front of the 18. Maybe a crossover move here happening. Maybe a move to the outside. Great battle at the front of the field. 3-car battle for the lead. Pacholski has it. Isley and Higby want it. Isley back to the bottom. I think that's where he wants to be, and I think that's where he feels comfortable making the pass. And I think we have a yellow out as one car flipped over there, and it was a purple machine. So was that Cunningham or was that DeRitter? We're going to find out. Maybe it was Meitzler even. There it is. Travis Cunningham rolling and running just a little bit too low around Fairbury. Tags that truck tire, which in the game of iRacing really doesn't have much give at all, and that flips him over on his lid. He gets a little work done in the pit area. We'll see if we can get Travis back out there representing the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast. Appreciate him running that scheme and pumping up our show the way he's doing. Caution flag gives us a moment to catch our breath, and I don't know about you, but I could use it. It's Jonathan Howe up in the booth, flying solo tonight with Joe Donahue on vacation. Got to give Chris a shout out for manning the production of this broadcast tonight. Appreciate him jumping on board. I believe this might be only the 3rd broadcast he's ever worked before. Don't quote me on that, but Chris, you're doing a great job, buddy. Great job, and iRacing is putting on a great show for us here. These drivers are putting on a great show for us as we're back to green. Tyler Pacholski gets a great jump. He runs away with the lead, but look at who's nosing ahead for a brief moment. Gavin Isley back to the inside, trying to make things happen downstairs. It almost looks like the bottom side of this racetrack has gone away, and now the top is where you want to go back to it. Although Isley, the catfish, the bottom feeder, he is committed to the inside, and look at the move, crossover move here. Once again, Pacholski to the lead. It's almost like when Isley does that, he's got to stay on the inside, but when you're pulling a slide job through 3 and 4, it's almost so hard to keep the car pinned down and get the power down to clear the way he was in those previous moments. Good racing at the front here. This has been a fantastic show so far. Oh, a little bit of contact maybe. Isley doing the best he could to stay off of Tyler Pacholski, who kept him pinned down through 1 and 2. Around the outside comes Cody Higbee. Also lurking there, Travis Miller. Ryan Beagle right there as well. Jamie Porter's come back into the picture, as well as Matt DeRitter. Caution's obviously helping Porter, who's come back up from just at the back half of the top 10 to be pushing inside the top 5 now, as we still get some great racing at the front of the field. You can see Porter in the 45 going around the 0-3 of DeRitter as they're battling for 5th position. Going on board now with Porter, and look what he's watching. He's watching a battle for the lead, a battle for 3rd in front of him between Miller and Higbee, and he's got DeRitter working downstairs as well. This is tight racing around Fairbury. What a fantastic show. I mean, 25 laps to go, and I can't tell you who's going to win it. It's going to be real hard for somebody to clear anybody. Isley is clear of Pacholski, but Pacholski works down low. And now here comes Higbee. And here comes Miller. 4 cars under a blanket for the lead through 3 and 4. Down the front stretch, Gavin Isley is to the point and almost clear of Pacholski, but Pacholski is still making the bottom side work. Now Isley is able to clear. He'll go to the middle of the racetrack. We'll see if Cody Higbee can use the extreme outside to move past the 21 and maybe put some pressure on Isley. Oh, Higbee in the fence. That's a big mistake there from the 97 machine. He's going to surrender 3rd spot, but it could have been worse, honestly. Surprised he didn't lose more positions the way he just rim rode around turns 1 and 2. Now Isley running the outside. Hasn't ran on the outside a lot in this race. We'll see if he can avoid making a similar mistake to Higbee, as Miller is now through to 3rd. Porter and DeRitter still trying to settle 5th position. Tyler Pacholski having a great run tonight, still using that track position in that big block to be in control and at the front of the field, but he's got to go now on offense as Isley is starting to drive away with it with 20 laps to go. Down the back straightaway, about a half car length is separating Isley from Pacholski. Then it's Miller. 3 cars single file at the front of the field. Now it's 5 cars settling in. Look who's driven back up through the field too. Give a call to Dylan Davidson. I believe that was the 73 car I saw there on the inside. Yeah, he's trying to push his way inside the top 5 after we saw him flipped over and on his lid just, I don't know, 25, 30 laps ago. Now the 73 using the big block power to come back through the field. Dylan Davidson representing well here tonight and trying to work his way inside the top 5. Up at the front, still Isley in control in that 18 machine. Maybe tagged the wall just a touch up off of 1 and 2. Great bumper shot here of the 18. You can see Pacholski is right there. I love that angle because it's like you can reach out and touch the wall. You can see how close these guys are, and in a lot of cases banging the boards around this tight track here at Fairbury. Pacholski not going away. I almost think Tyler Pacholski might have found something here as he is pulling back even with Isley and Miller right there as well. This track continues to change and offer different racing lines, different grooves that are fast for these small blocks and big blocks as the BRPtv modified big block, small block challenge series rolls on. We're going to have 3 races left in the season after tonight. And we've got a great battle amongst the top 3. Gavin Isley doing all he can to hold off Pacholski. Pacholski just looking for any chance to slide up in front, and now he does down the front stretch. coming to 10 laps to go, and it's the 21 of Tyler Pachalski back out in front. You know he would love to put his name in the win column. Cody Higbee, our championship leader, if he finishes where he is tonight with Ryan Beagle, fading back through the top 10 in this one. Running a small block tonight, not able to keep the pace necessarily that the other drivers have. Gavin Isley going back to the bottom side. Hill trying to work over our leader as we're on board with the 97 of Cody Higbee, showing us all the action as these two battle at the front of the field. Isley trying to make it work on the inside. Higbee trying to get to the inside of the Garden City 22 machine of Travis Miller. That's a good battle for third. Dylan Davidson not going away either. He wants to be inside the top 5 and get ahead of DeRitter. Isley struggling, searching, trying to find something, anything to catch back up to the 21 of Tyler Pachalski, who just did not go away. Every time Gavin Isley thought he was in the clear, the 21 stayed close, read where the track was going, read where the lanes were going, and he has found something that has now allowed the 21 to gap the 18 by about 2 car lengths. The 18 trying to hustle it on the inside, but doesn't have the drive off like the 21 does. Does anybody have anything left for Tyler Pachalski? Come on to 5 laps to go. Isley is there, but not close enough to make the move. Down the back straightaway, about a car length, maybe 2 car lengths as they work into 3 and 4. Travis Miller around the outside, he's trying to capture second. Isley looks pretty good through 3 and 4, but through 1 and 2, especially the drive up off of 2, he really surrenders a lot of time and space to the 21. 4 laps to go, coming to 3 to go now. 4, 5, 6 cars in the camera shot for this win. Isley noses ahead, but down the chute goes the 21. The way he can just turn off the bank and use that bank to kind of launch his car forward seems to be what's going to keep Tyler Pachalski in front. Popsicle sticks in the air. There's 2 laps to go. 100 laps has flown by here at the Fury at Fairbury. The BRPtv iRacing Series. 1 lap to go. Isley surrenders second spot to Miller. Miller trying around the outside. Does he have one last shot at the 21? He's coming. Here comes Travis Miller at a corner number 4, though. Isley downstairs. I believe Porter went around. It's the 21P. Tyler Pachalski gets the win over Travis Miller, who gives him a nice little love tap there. And Gavin Isley, valiant effort, hangs on to 3rd. Wow, what a race. What a drive from Tyler Pachalski in the 21. Good stuff from Fairbury. I'm almost speechless. And that's not just because I talked for 100 laps by myself. I'm impressed. The racing that we just saw tonight was fantastic. And what a finish that we got under green with Tyler Pachalski in the 21P refusing to go away. He is our winner. We'll see if we can grab him and get him up in the booth here for an interview. Looks like Dean Reynolds gives him a buzz by. Remember, they made some contact earlier in the night in the heat race. Not sure if Reynolds forgot about that or not, but Tyler Pachalski is your winner. Try to grab him down here for the Discord. Just trying to grab the Dirt Car 21 driver up into the booth. I think we got him here. Tyler Pachalski, you got a copy. It's Jonathan up in the booth.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
I am good, man. What a race. I am thoroughly not just impressed, but entertained by your performance here tonight, Tyler. Talk to us about that drive from your vantage point.
I didn't really know where to be to start. Felt like the top was probably going to be a little bit faster, and it was. Cody took off and was really good. And then I just kind of got into where I wanted to be, which was that middle lane. And then we had that first restart, and I kind of got by him there. And then me, Gavin, and Travis battled it out the rest of the way.
You mentioned Gavin there, and he did get by you in clear of you a couple times. It felt like over the last little bit of this race, the last 50 laps. Every time he got by you, though, you just refused to go away. Did you trust that you had the time, the space, the ability, the car to get back by him every time he got by you?
Yeah, it seemed like any time that I would venture away from the middle lane where I was, he'd seem to be a little bit quicker than me on that lower lane. So it just needed to be me going back to what I felt comfortable with, and then I seemed to be able to get back by him after that.
Yeah, it was a good stuff. It was a great race from our perspective. We really appreciate what you guys put on for us. Who do you want to thank for the drive here tonight, Tyler?
First and foremost, Beef. Without him, we wouldn't be having this much fun every Monday night, and my wife yelling at me to be quiet. So I appreciate Beef and the rest of the boys, and then everybody else who we carry along here and on the car. Same as what I do in real life. My Nickel Street Clothesline, my parents and that, and Weldstar Brett, he's awesome, and just everyone else. We're having a blast.
Yeah, I bet. That was a great race. Great win. You led 55 laps. Congratulations. Tyler Pachelski, the winner here tonight at Fairbury.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Cheers, buddy. Now we've got Travis Miller bringing it home with a P2. Mr. 22, Travis Miller, you got a copy, my friend.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Talk to us about that drive there. You were hanging towards the front half of the field pretty much the whole night. You ended up leading 6 laps in total. What did you need to get the finish, though? The one more higher in the finish there.
I'm not too sure. Tyler's pretty good. I just lost a lot of spots there at the beginning of the race, and I couldn't really get it back in time. And like the middle, I just couldn't run the middle like everybody else could at all, really, all night. So I just lost some track position there, and then it was just real tough to make passes like really clean and not try and wipe the guy out that you're trying to pass. So it took a few laps, and then that last 20 laps, we were able to just kind of get a line and reel Gavin and Tyler in, but it just wasn't enough, unfortunately.
It sure seemed like the racetrack changed a lot throughout the 100 laps. How do you feel? Because you said you couldn't really run the middle, but it seemed like maybe 20 laps into it, pretty much everybody was going to the bottom side of the racetrack, which is something I didn't really expect to see. Just from your vantage point and from your drive tonight, how much did you see this racing surface change?
Yeah, it definitely changed a lot. I mean, I think the small blocks could really run the bottom and the middle a lot better than the big blocks could. I mean, if you had really good throttle control, I think you could run the middle too. And that's what Tyler was doing earlier in the race. And then I had to run the top. And I think if you could just get enough momentum and kind of go through the middle on exit, you could get a really good run. It's just if you had enough track room on the track to do it. So I didn't really go all over the place that much. Every time I tried to run the bottom, I just got super tight. So I just ran the top all race and was hoping for the best there. But the track definitely changed a lot through that 100 laps.
Well, you really crushed it out. You got the Garden City machine to the front and got past Gavin Isley on what looked like the final corner, really there. So, who do you want to thank for a great performance tonight?
I just got to thank Garden City Detail, Beef Esports, Beef for putting this whole thing on, and you guys for putting this broadcast on. It's always fun.
Appreciate it. Travis Miller brings it home P2 in the 22 machine, and racing good pal Tyler Pachelski for the win there as well. And now let's see if we can grab Gavin Isley here. P3, Mr. Gavin Isley, you got a copy. It's Jonathan up in the booth.
I do.
Congrats on a great run. Hard fought battle there with Tyler Pachelski. Did it feel like the car just maybe went away, or maybe the track changed a little more than you were expecting or wanted to for the line you were running at the end there?
I think we were a little bit better on the outside, and we kind of just got stuck to the bottom after trying to make a pass. But all in all, wasn't too bad, other than Travis beating us to the line.
Yeah, it was a tight finish there. Just from your vantage point, you mentioned that you felt better on the outside, which we kind of think of you as a bottom feeder, especially in this series. Do you think if you were able to get to the outside of Pachelski, you could have cleared him and maybe just held on and gotten around the 21 and held him off for however many laps you needed to?
I think so. I was making a couple of mistakes getting in the wall 1 and 2, and he snuck by me, and I thought the crossover move would have been the way to go, but it wasn't. But yeah, I think we could have, if I could have got in front of him at least once and cropped his line, could have pulled away.
Well, it's good to have you back on the podium regardless, and good to see you building up some momentum here to end the season strong. Who do you want to thank for the drive here tonight?
Performance Automotive and Showtime Wraps.
Great drive. Congratulations on P3. Gavin Isley, not the finish he wanted, but a great run regardless, and good to see the 18 back up towards the front half of this field. And just a great race in general that we had from all these guys. For me, I felt like this was one of the better races of the season. I don't want to call it the best race of the year because there's been so many races, there's been so many great finishes, but that 100 laps was as much fun as I think I've had calling a race. I just wish my buddy Joe was here to call it with me, man. That's the only thing missing from tonight. I know he's enjoying his time down in Texas right now, and he's going to be back with us next week. And appreciate him getting us through last week as well when I had the power outage and couldn't keep up on the broadcast. We'll wait to get our lineup here and take you through the full field rundown. Tyler Pachalski, your winner. Over Travis Miller. Gavin Isley brings it home third. Cody Higbee should have done enough, I believe, based on my quick math calculations, to inherit the point lead tonight with his fourth place finish. And give a call to Dylan Davidson. Up on his roof at one point in this race, rallies back, ends up in fifth. Great run for the 73. Matt DeRitter ends up in sixth. Dean Reynolds, seventh. Ryan Beagle, eighth. He's going to have some work to do to catch back up to Cody Higbee. Jamie Porter, 9th, and Pat Reiser rounds out a good run in the 33, finishing 10th. And here's the second half of the field. Jeff Sharp ends up 11th in the 28. Tyler Joshambowski runs 12th in the 088. Dean Meitzler ends up 13th. Corby Daniels ends up 14th, 15th. Ryan Susi, who had some problems. Travis Cunningham also had an issue. Couldn't make the rest of the race, and Dave DePetro ends up bringing it home 17th after early incident for the 68 machine. And I'm not sure what else there is left to say. This has been one of the better nights, one of the better races that we have seen this series put on all year long. The mix of small blocks and big blocks at the front half of the field made for great stories, great things to follow along with. Got to thank our partners, though, and everybody who helps us put this show on the road. MDR Designs, JM Performance, Creative Turnings, Super Dirt Car Series, Dig Race Products, BRPtv, the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, and 47 Technology. Would not be able to make this show happen without you. Especially also big thank you to GT Rain. If you're ever looking for world-class content to keep up with the know-how of sports car racing across the globe, be sure to check out the GT Rain YouTube channel. Every so often, a high-quality video on the tech, history, and happenings of worldwide motorsport come to brighten your day. So be sure to click the link below and check it out. We've included the link in the show. You can catch it in the notes down below. And wow, I'm speechless. I'm out of breath. And that's because we just had a great night. And we're going to have a great night next weekend as well, as we're off to Knoxville next Monday. Knoxville for the third to last race of the season. Knoxville, Eldora, and Charlotte remain on the schedule. What a great race. Once again, big congratulations to the 21P and Tyler Pachalski getting the win here tonight. He worked hard for it, held off Travis Miller, held off Gavin Isley, and gets the W. Great to see a different winner in Victory Lane. Great to see what a race. This is going to be one to go back and watch on our channel over and over again, which, again, if you're just new to the series, if there's any races you missed, these races live forever on the BRP TV channel. Check them out. Go back and watch them. Get caught up and know exactly what got us to this point. On behalf of Chris, working the show magic behind me, on behalf of all of our drivers, Beef Esports and the Beef and everybody at BRP TV, I'm Jonathan Howe, and I hope your Monday night was more than just all right. Mike's down though.